Hi, this is Mick Crumley from Vanair Manufacturing. I'm here to talk about the Underdeck air compressor package. This system, PTO shaft driven, was introduced by Vanair Manufacturing back in 1972. We were the first ones to come up with it, make it work, and introduce it to the marketplace. It's PTO shaft driven from the PTO gearbox on the transmission. Power comes from the transmission back into our compressor. It's driven by the engine. This one has a generator attachment on it for AC power. The Underdeck compressor system is mounted underneath the truck body here. You can see this has quite a bit of ground clearance. It does not impede anything underneath the truck as far as ground clearance. The compressor system mounted under the truck, the compressor is always with you. You don't have to send somebody back to the job site to pick up a compressor if somebody forgot to bring it. The system mounted under the truck means when you get to the job site it's ready to go. You don't have to worry about the engine on the compressor starting on a tow behind. This also frees up the bed space in the truck. It frees up the hitch to pull other equipment, be it a trencher or backhoe. The system will always be with you. If it gets left on a job site, they're not going to steal the compressor. It will always be mounted to the truck here. This system would be basically used for work on the side of the road, parking lots, running a paving breaker, jackhammers, any type of hand tools that you'd have. Small welding devices, plastic pipe fusion welders, work lights if it's dark out, any type of electrical AC systems that use 120 or 240 power. The compressor is a rotary screw oil flooded air compressor. The oil helps seal the compressor to get the air pressure out of the system and discharge the temperature, the heat out of the system. The compressor will discharge air and oil out through a hose and put it into the discharge separator tank where it will separate dry air from the oil. The oil then would go back through the system through a cooler and reintroduce it back into the compressor. The discharge tank will have service valves and a minimum pressure valve on the end of the tank to allow you to use air out the service line on the truck. The tank will also have a fill and sight glass assembly for an oil level for a quick, easy check. Okay, this is the Vanair rotary screw compressor fluid cooler. This cooler assembly would be mounted on the service body of the truck someplace out of the way to get fresh air. What this does, the compressor, when it's compressing air, it creates a lot of heat. The oil in the system carries the heat away. The oil will come into the cooler here. It'll run through the cooler with a fan blowing, drop the temperature, goes out the other side and reintroduces it back into the compressor just to keep the system going, keeps it cool and running. Vanair has a variety of air to oil cooler configurations depending on your application and truck. Larger coolers will be required for higher pressures and volumes. These range from 60 to 200 CFM and 100 to 200 PSI for either intermittent or continuous duty cycle applications. The Vanair Underdeck air compressor is available from 60 to 400 CFM for various applications. Compressor generator system, as seen, would operate at 125 to 185 CFM with a 6.6 kilowatt generator or a 9.6 kilowatt generator for your electrical applications. This is the Vanair Gen Air breaker panel for the AC power. This breaker panel has a main circuit breaker feeding the sub breakers. The system is all GFI protected. It does have a remote on and off switch to turn the AC power on and off. When the generator is on producing power, the green light will light up to show you have AC power. The receptacles mounted here are GFI protected, 120, 240 volt on this panel. This panel can be mounted anywhere on the truck body. Typically a service body, you would put this into a body compartment near the rear of the truck or on the curbside, wherever they're going to be working on the side of the road at. You can also pull outlets out of these and actual wire outlets around the side of the body so they would have electricity on all four corners of the truck bed if that's needed. The system, it's a space saver. You don't have to have a tow behind portable machine behind you. It doesn't take up bed space in the back of the truck. If you were to have a separate engine driven compressor, you're looking at roughly 2,000 pounds. This system would weigh around 400 pounds. so it saves a lot of weight on the vehicle. This system utilizes the truck engine to drive the compressor. All the new trucks are Tier 4, so we don't have to have a second Tier 4 engine, which is very expensive. But this is all self-contained in the chassis. The Vtec Controller is our diagnostic system for turning the machine on and off. It's a digital display readout that will show you the compressor pressure, the air pressure in the system, the compressor temperature. Any shutdowns or faults it will show you on the display screen. This system is also set up with a dual pressure system. The switch here will switch it from low pressure 100 psi to high pressure 150 psi with a flip of a switch. This will allow you to run your air tools at 100 psi. Most paving breakers will run at 100 psi. And then for, say, pressure pipe testing, you would have the high 150 psi at the flip of a switch. Typically, if the truck has a PTO opening to drive a PTO gearbox, we should be able to put some type of compressor system on it for you. These systems also are available with a optional V2 or V3 gearbox assembly. What that does is when you have a truck with one drive shaft, as many of them do now, you will have one drive shaft driving the compressor and the generator. A gearbox would go on the front of the compressor that we could put a hydraulic pump on to give you hydraulic power. Hydraulic power would operate any various hand tools, hydraulically driven paving breakers, cranes, etc. Hope this has been informative for you. If you have any questions, please call or check out our website for any custom applications or questions you may have.